Okay, dear doctors and students, a very warm welcome in this Homeopathy 360 webinar. Today again we come up with a very new and a very interesting topic, and we feel that today's topic will also help you in order to educate you on the material medical section. So definitely we are going to put some new information today. So kindly be settled down and soon our presenter will join and guide you further. Even our presenter is already joined, so I request Dr. Yashika, please guide the audience and start the proceedings.
Sure, sir. So, good afternoon, everyone. A very warm afternoon to everybody who's with us today. Welcome to today's webinar by Team Homeopathy 360. For all of you and all who have joined us today, I, Dr. Yashika Arora, will be the moderator for today's session for all of you. So, before we begin, let me introduce you to the team Homeopathy 360. We have Dr. Rajesh with us. I welcome Dr. Rajesh, who will be with us at the backend system to ensure that the webinar runs smooth. I also would like to introduce you to the software who are new to this platform. That you have on the right side corner of your screen, there is a chat box wherein you can type your questions and send to us by pressing the button next to the box. We also will be running a question answer session at the end of the webinar where you can clarify your queries with the speaker. You can raise your hand if you want to ask any question from the speaker. And let me also introduce you to our platform Homeopathy 360, the treasury of knowledge and hidden talents. It is one of the most updated portals for all kinds of course material, job vacancies all over the world, latest news, latest updates about homeopathy, upcoming events of homeopathy, upcoming webinars of homeopathy on homeopathy, articles from great classical as well as contemporary practitioners, as well as upcoming homeopaths plus students. We have periodic literature as well as journals like Homeobuzz and Homeopathic Heritage. We have always tried to connect homeopaths worldwide and this platform has been exceptional education hub for each generation of homeopaths. We try to gather each and every single information related to homeopathy and make it universally accessible through our website, that is www.homeopathy360.com. You can visit the website as well as contribute your experiences, your expertise for the website as well. So without wasting any time, we have with us as the speaker of today, Professor Dr. Shripad Hegde, sir. He's MD Home, MS, MD Acupuncture, PGDHA. He's the director of Tatva Homeopathic Research Center, Bangalore, and also former professor and HOD of Government Homeopathic Medical College and Hospital, Bangalore. So I would like to welcome sir. He has been an inspiration for many of the people, many of the homeopaths worldwide. He has presented so many scientific papers at national and international conferences. Also, presented many of scientific papers all over the country. So I welcome him. He has been an inspector at CCH New Delhi, as well as an examiner for PG and UG for various institutes under Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences and many other universities. So I welcome sir, and now I like to introduce you to the topic of today, which he'll be taking. That is the glory of acetic acid, glacial acetic acid. He'll be discussing on glacial acetic acid. So without wasting any time, let us begin with the webinar. And now I hand over to you, sir. Please begin. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Rajesh and Dr. Yashika. I hope I am audible clearly.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah, we can go for the first slide where you could able to move. See, presently we are all really fed up or in a critical condition of COVID-19, and all are under depression or irritation or in a lot of confusion. And with all these things, we thought our academic life should not be burdened. Our sharing of a knowledge and experience should continue and be on. And wherever we open webinar, we see only the COVID's different views. Then we thought, let us discuss something different than that. And way back, go to the acid group and study one of the acid among the acids. As we know, one or the other way, what I said rightly, the irritation continues either mentally, physically, socially, or financially. There's a lot of irritability is there. That is one of the keynote symptom of acetic acid. Let us discuss that. So, nature of acids. Let us see what are all the acids we discuss or we utilize. In the nature, we say the acid is a Latin word which means aceous means sour. Sourness is the basic thing of acid. An acid is a substance that can provide H plus ion, protein donor, or any substance that liberates hydrogen ion in a solution. Most of the acids are colorless, corrosive in nature, sour in taste, peculiar odor, and evaporates when heated. And most acids derive from mineral kingdom, few from vegetable, like lactic acid. Acids are used in manufacture of fertilizers, chemicals, explosives, and bactericides, wastewater processing as dehydrating agents in preparation of dry fruits. This is very interesting. Acids. See, we could able to see what are the names of acids are there, and out of this, almost majority of the acids we are using in a Matermedica as a homeopathic medicine. That is very interesting. See, arsenous acid, acetic acid, benzoic acid, boric acid, butyric acid, carpolic acid, chromic acid, fluoric acid or hydrofluoric acid, formic acid, gallic acid, hippuric acid, hydrobromic acid, hydrocyanic acid, means the prussic acid, lactic acid, malic acid, and muriatic acid or hydrochloric acid, nitrosomuriatic acid, nitric acid, oxalic acid, phosphoric acid, picric acid, salicylic acid, sarcolactic acid, silicic acid, sulfurous acid, sulfuric acid, tannic acid, tartaric acid, and uric acid. I hope the 29 I have covered, maybe one or two left, where even the classification of acids are made accordingly, where organic acids and inorganic acids. In this also, we see the organic acids are very weak acids, slow in its action as well as manifestations, progressive action, and producing in deep pathology. In this group, we study acetic acid, benzoic acid, butyric acid, citric acid, hydrocyanic acid, lactic acid, malic acid, oxalic acid, and salicylic acid. These are all the organic acids. Out of this, today we are going to discuss about the acetic acid. The inorganic acids, minerals are very strong. They are very strong acids, rapid in its action, acute action producing the deep pathology, that is inorganic acids. Screen is seen clearly, Ashika?
Yes, sir, it's clear, absolutely clear.
No, the whole screen is covered or only partly it is covered?
No, the whole screen is covered. All the general features from
Okay.
persons to hemorrhages is being visible.
No, full screen is covered on. Yeah. Yeah, general features of acids. See here, before going to the acetic acid, just we'll have a the small glimpse on the general features of the acids adopted to persons of lean, thin, with stooped shoulder and premature old look, who have become debilitated by loss of vital fluids, sexual excesses, and discharges. Here, this lot of vital fluids and sexual excesses and discharges from the various organs of the body, that is excessive. You say rhinorrhea, otorrhea, gonorrhea, diarrhea, anything you say, that all comes under acids. Weak memory, lack of concentration, and destruction of all thinking powers, weakness, prostration with or without irritability, excessive, corrosive, watery, acrid, sour, and stained with blood, peculiar fatigue, debility. In this also we say the first mental debility, then physical debility with defective nutrition. Hemorrhages, it bleeds from all orifice or from the ulcers, where the bleeding will be there in almost all the acids. And tendency to produce pseudomembranes. This is another specialty of almost all group of acids, and some acids are very peculiar and prominent. And GIT complaints ending in diarrhea, burning sensation due to irritation of nerves, oversensitiveness to external impressions, diabetes mellitus, as well as even diabetes insipidus. We see, I said no, excessive, even urine is also excessive only. Destruction, ulceration, and septicemia. Even perforations, all such things are very common in acids. And night aggravations, exhaustive weakness, so tired all over, and sometimes you see the paralytic weakness. Now we'll come back to our remedy, that is glacial aceticum acidum. Here, this is an organic acid, other way it's called vinegar. A very interesting, this vinegar, many they use in the food, they may not be aware of that, how much acetic acid is there in that vinegar, and what the vinegar does in their, either in the kitchen or other chemical industries or the factories. And maybe if you increase the percentage of vinegar, acetic acid in vinegar, I think we have to reprove the acetic acid. And the basic prover of acetic acid is Edward William Berridge. He was there from 1844 to 1920, a British Orthodox physician who has completed an allopathic MD. Then he converted to homeopathy, traveled to America to study of the Homeopathic College of Pennsylvania, graduating in 1869. Then he continued his practice there only, found his homeopathic field in America. He proved many medicines like cannabis indica, medorinum, etc., like acetic acid, that goes to his credit. He was an early Kentian prescriber, and he has contributed many things to homeopathy. And what is acetic acid? Vinegar is a household essential, often used for cooking, and it even helps unclog sinks. Remember for what purpose we are using. If it goes inside, what may happen? What chemical substance makes vinegar smell the way it does? Vinegar is actually a solution that is made of 4 to 8% of acetic acid that is dissolved in water and other substances that give vinegar its flavor depending on its type. Acetic acid, also known as ethanoic acid and methanocarbolic acid, is a colorless liquid that has a strong and distinct pungent and sour smell. Its chemical formula is C2H4O2. It has 2 carbon and 4 hydrogen atoms and 2 oxygen atoms. Because it has a carbon in its chemical formula, it is an organic compound. Its chemical formula can be written in a multiple ways as shown here: C2H4O2, CH3COOH, CH3CO2H, and its physiological action. Now applied to skin, it destroys epidermis, erosions, painful sore ulcers. But I'm talking in the physiological form, in the form itself only, whatever the vinegar is there, if you apply like that, naturally it destroys the skin, and where the erosion forms or the later there may be ulcer, and still further the bleeding ulcers may occur. And if the same is swallowed, there is a violent burning with gastric pain, vomiting, loose stools, mucous surfaces turns white, later brown in color, leads to ulcers. In the diluted form, it reduces body temperature and slow the pulse as well as respiratory rate. Prolonged use changes blood corpuscles by modifying the alkalinity of the blood and hemorrhages. And how the patient looks, the acetic acid is adapted to the personalities, like suited to children and old people. Both in the pediatric as well as geriatric cases, it suits better. In anemic persons, pale, lean persons with lax muscles, waxy, pale face, dark circles around the eyes, appear as if drunk, faints often. Others also it is considered as a drunkard's remedy, one of the remedy which helps for the alcoholic addicts. Children with great emaciation, especially of the face, hands and thighs. In the mind, you see the confusion. There is a lot of confusion. Does not know her own children. That is the height of confusion what the mothers will develop in acetic acid. Thinks something is wrong with the health, always worried about the health, but they cannot able to take care of their health. That is very interesting. Worried about a business affairs, whatever they do. Maybe I think somewhere we feel during this COVID effect, this mindset suits like that it feels. Characteristics of acetic acid. Profound anemia, excessive emaciation, children with marasmus. Great peculiar debility, wasting, frequent fainting. You could able to find the nature of debility, the weakness, exhaustive weakness, what we find in acetic acid. More hungry, yet he loses flesh, like a remedies in abrotinum, natramur, sanicula, all such remedies. Much prostration after surgery, after anesthetics and surgical shock. So you see the after surgery, surgical shock or maybe anesthetic shock. Both, many patients, they don't come out of that. It's a psychological or sometimes you see the physiological also. In both the conditions where acetic acid has a very important role in that. And tendency to produce pseudomembranes. This is another specialty of almost all acids, but in the acetic acid we find more like diphtheria-like manifestations in the throat. It may be uvula, it may be a tonsils or a pharynx, anywhere, or on the body we see the corns or the warts. And diabetes mellitus and insipidus. I said where there is a more discharges from the body. The diabetes we see the excessive urination and insipidus also. And dropsically effusion, local or a generalized, where anasarca, the edema is a common thing we see in acetic acid. And action affinity. It has action affinity over the mucous membranes, serous membranes, epithelium, veins and nerves. So almost all the organs are covered because this is also one of the deep-acting constitutional remedy. And temperament, we understand it is a choleric, irritable, the short-tempered personalities. Diathesis, hemorrhagic diathesis, which has a very strong affinity for bleeding, bleeds for almost all the orifices of the body. And miasm, it's a syphilitic. Some they think may be a tubercular, but not true because its results are damaging to the extent of the whole constitution. That is the typical nature of syphilis. And thermally, this is a chilly patient. Patient is highly thirsty, insatiable thirst, drinks large quantity of water, always wants to have a water, and aversion for the salted food. Bad or after effect of stings or insect bites. This is specialty of acetic acid. Wasting diseases like tuberculosis, hypoproteinemia, pernicious anemia, and hemorrhage from every mucous outlet, nose, throat, lungs, stomach, bowels, uterus, whatever the organ you name it, from there the bleeding time takes place. That is typical acetic acid. Then ulcerative colitis. There also we see the ulcers, deep ulcers, hemorrhagic ulcers. That is typical ulcerative colitis. And AIDS syndrome, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, where complete collapse of the immune system, where it has its own role, how they manifest it. Then cancer, epithelial cancer or epithelioma, such conditions of malignancy. Then head symptoms, you see the shooting through temples from abuse of tobacco, opium, coffee or alcohol. Face, you see emaciated, waxy, pale, sweaty, cheeks hot and flushed, eyes are sunken, surrounded by dark rings, wild expression. Epithelioma of lip, almost considered as a specific remedy for lip cancers or epithelioma. the acetic acid is considered as. And nose, bleed especially from a blow or a fall, or even sometimes without that also. Sometimes it's very difficult to differentiate ammonium carb as well as acetic acid. Then thirst, I was talking intense, burning, insatiable, even for large quantities in dropsy. It's very interesting where whatever the condition, except fever, patient is thirsty. And the dropsy, diabetes, chronic diarrhea, all these conditions also patient feels too much thirst. Because many times in the dropsy, it's very difficult to control them where they have to maintain the less water intake, but acetic acid patients cannot cope with that. Children are thirsty, but they can't swallow even 1 teaspoon of water due to sensitive throat. Throat is very sensitive where patient or a child would not able to swallow or a sip even hot water or cold water, anything. No thirst during fever. This is the characteristic feature of acetic acid. Though the patient is thirsty all along, whatever may be the name of the disease or the condition of the patient, he is thirsty, but during fever, it is unusual or peculiar symptom of acetic acid. And the throat, you see the difficulty in swallowing, putrid, sore throat, hoarseness and irritation of trachea and bronchial tubes, white false membranes in throat. It may be a malignant diphtheria. Of late, we don't find any diphtheria in India, but still we see the diphtheria-like manifestations over the tonsils, uvula, or a pharynx, the typical membrane-like structure which forms where acetic acid has got its own role. And inhalation of vapor of cedar vinegar has used in croup as well as malignant diphtheria successfully. Inhalation of this acetic acid has given a very good relief for that. See, these are all the things that have been found long back. In the stomach, we find nausea and frequent vomiting, continuous salivation, burning water brush and profuse salivation day and night, disgust for salted foods and cold beverages, violent burning pain in stomach and chest as of ulcer and cancer. This burning pain is specifically we find where you could able to see the severity of the ulcers or cancers, that much severe burning always continuously the patient experiences. Stomach feels as if patient had taken a lot of vinegar. Means you could able to see the acidity inside how the patient is experiencing. Indurations in stomach, sour belching and vomiting during pregnancy. Cirrhosis of pylorus, hypertrophy of walls of stomach and cancer of stomach. See, it starts but to the cancer, that is a speciality of this acid. And the abdomen, you see the distension of abdomen, colicky pains, abdomen feels as if sunken in, then lying on his back, rests better lying on belly, hiccup, fetid, hot belching, diarrhea with colic pains and tenderness of abdomen, chronic diarrhea of children with great emaciation, hemorrhage from bowels, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, etc. See, ascites with violent orthopnea. This acetic acid is one of the remedy for anasarca, you say, or the edema, whether it is a localized or a generalized. In such conditions, we see very severe or a distension of abdomen with the collection of the fluid, as ascites, with very difficulty in breathing. Here, I would like to share a case where treated some time back, a very interesting thing. What is the role of acetic acid in a, what I can say, the as a isotherapy, or you say the controlling of the diseases as a pathological prescription. See, a case, 56 years old male complaining of generalized edema, distension of abdomen, dyspnea on little exertion, cough with scanty expectoration, sometimes expectoration mixed with blood, mild fever on and off, wants to be covered, diarrhea 3 to 4 times in a day, sometimes he bleeds. See, this fellow is suffering from all these things for quite some time. He doesn't know when all these manifestations have started. Patient is an auto driver by work, on irregular food and other things. Usually these drivers don't have a discipline in their life, as well as in the hygiene, as well as in their dietary or food habits also. Non-alcoholic for 22 years, smoker for 35 years, tea or coffee 8 to 10 cup per day, maybe the same 20-25 years. Poor family relations, highly irritable. Naturally, with all these things, one person should be irritable only. And he's worried about his work. Means because of his disease, he could not able to drive, he could not able to earn. That is his worry. On examination, you could able to make out he is a pale, generalized edema, anasarca, and these all the things we find where distension of the abdomen is more compared with the other body swellings. Dry skin, much thirsty. However, you ask him to reduce liquid, he can't resist because he is so thirsty. And hypertrophy of liver with nodular feeling. 3-finger enlargement. On examination of abdomen, you could able to make out it was a very prominently distended abdomen with ascites. Severe weakness, he can't lie or sit, but patient is very irritable and he doesn't cooperate sometimes even for the examination or other things also. Sweat on and off, more during night. Sometimes it looks like that the patient may be suffering from tuberculosis or no, because the constitution has become so like that, and his habits and other things which messes with that also. The last 5 months, 3 times they made a tapping, means aspiration of the abdomen in the Bangalore, the Victoria Hospital. Again, the collection took place within a short period. That is very interesting. As you know, almost all the alcoholic cirrhosis, this is a common thing. When it reaches to the stage of cirrhosis of liver, it is very difficult to manage, and this ascites is one of the big problem which may lead to the hepatic failure later. And here also the patient's condition was like that. All the supportive documents were there because he was admitted 2-3 times. They did all the investigations, identified and advised him to stop the alcohol. It was all momentarily. Again he continues, he goes back again, like that 3 times they did. Now, naturally, when I was working in a government college here, we cannot say no to any patients. It's a government institute. We have to admit all the poor patients, and whatever the best we could able to do, we have to do it. And as certainly this patient was admitted with all these above completes. Whether this should be treated or should be referred back again for the tapping. What is the management? How best we could able to help him? See, this was the thing, and naturally we are responsible. We have to answer, and we have to help the patient. That was our main motto. And the prognosis is very poor. It is a hopeless case. Already has reached the stage of the severe cirrhosis of liver. But still we thought, let us help him something with our medicines. And we took the case and studied, and these are all the group of remedies came on our reputation, like arsenic alb, acetic acid, apis, epocinum, digitalis, and as a rare remedy, Laetris picata. But the very interesting thing, arsenic alb is also chilly patient as well as thirsty, where we would have thought of that, but proportionately, other things which matches, apis is a hot patient, there are no chances. Epocinum is an acute, may not able to help that much extent, may reduce some edema. Digitalis, if it would have been a cardiac origin, that edema, certainly digitalis might have been helped. Then we thought acetic acid may be the things. Another very interesting thing what we have noticed is, in this patient, the typically what the key, or I can say, is the colliquative sweat. This patient has, even in a cool place, cool day, without exertion or emotional stress, body sweats. That is a classical feature what you see in acetic acid. And acetic acid 30 was started in frequent doses, reduced the collection of acetic fluid. See, next 6 months, we could not able to do any aspiration, where whatever the abdominal girth was there, what you say, the wet weight of the body, it came down and slowly he started improving. I don't say that suddenly all the ascites has disappeared, patient become 100% all right, but at least we could able to avoid the tapping or the aspiration for some time. Almost 6 months, we have kept an observation. As you know, the patients are irregular, they just run away. We don't know what happened So later, that is a very interesting case of acetic acid. Then another case we'll see in between our study, case number 2. 65 years male complaining of insect bite, say left foot 3 days back. This is after the COVID attack in the COVID lockdown, which a patient has been treated. Not known definitely which insect has bitten, or sometimes he says some prick may be there when I was moving on the garden. Which insect bitten, he doesn't know. Within an hour, parts swollen. No spores or any mark is visible. No pain. As home medicine, he applied turmeric paste, but he waited for 2 days. There was no change, and the swelling persists like that only. He is a known diabetic for 20 years, on medicine under control. He was very thirsty. See, many times this thirst is very difficult to decide in diabetic patients, whether it is because of the diabetes or the patient is having his own way of thirst in his nature. And the local examination said the localized edema, which is shiny, no tenderness, and the local temperature was normal. He waited for 3 days. There was no change, thinking it may reduce its own by applying some home medicines like this, applying turmeric paste and other things. Then we thought, what are all the probable remedies? So usually when any prick or any injury, we think arnica, or maybe the insect bite, we think there is ecchymosis or the swelling is there, epis. But in arnica as well as in epis, both the conditions we see there is a sore, severe pain will be there, soreness, arnica for that. Epis also we see there is a stinging, burning pain. But the patients, very interestingly, it is painless. And we thought of ledum, but such indications were not there. Acetic acid was the remedy. You could able to see the part. I will show you. Yeah, this is the part, left foot which is affected. She said, why not Apis mellifica? There is no stinging, burning pain. Local part is warm in Apis mellifica, but here it is normal. And in the Apis mellifica, you see the sudden effusion, humiliation by cold application, and Apis is a thirstless. But here it is thirsty. Part is greasy, swollen, painless. Peripheral sensation reduced. See, one of the very interesting thing, whether it is a coincidence or in acetic acid manifestation only, usually in the acetic acid patients, peripheral sensations becomes reduced. That is very interesting. And this patient also happened the same thing. Though that much swelling is there, the bitten history is there, but patient was not experiencing any pain. He was a diabetic, thirsty, the stings, insect bites with effusion, where I gave him acetic acid 33 doses. Then we could able to see the changes, but classical features we see. See, this is a thing you could able to see after 3 days or 4 days of treatment. Patient's swelling has come down, where there is no markings also. This is a very interesting application of acetic acid in the sting bites or sometimes any such injuries like insect bites. It has a very interesting features. Then we'll continue with the acetic acid. Other features like sexual organs. In male, we see sexual passion. Almost all the acids have got that. A lot of sexual desire, but feeble erection, relaxed genitals, weakening emissions, sexual impotency. See, there is a competition between the each acids in this regard, we say, because acid phos is also like that. There are so many acids which has a sexual libido. And in the female, after parturition, metrorrhagia with great thirst, hemorrhages after labor, breasts painfully enlarged, distended with milk. See, milk impoverished. This is one of the specific thing we see in acetic acid, where it has changed its nature. Like instead of sweet, it has become sour, sometimes transparent, sometimes bluish, and anemia during nursing in the mothers. Then respiratory system, you see, the croup, cough with inhalation difficulty, hissing respiration, burning in chest and dyspnea, hemorrhage from lungs, hemoptysis, profuse bronchoria, much purulent sputum. And in the extremities, we see edema of feet and legs, varicose swellings and ulcers, skin, pale, waxen, edematous, burning, hot, bathed in profuse sweat, diminished sensibility of the surface of the body, useful after stings, bites and pricks, sprains and bruises, scorbutic skin. See, we see usually in this curvy where there is a dryness of the skin and very rough, sometimes even that also bleeds. That's a typical in one word I said, scorbutic skin. And anasarca, a generalized edema, you find even localized edema. And in both the conditions, it has its own role. And bleeding ulcers, malignant ulcers, you could able to see the figure of both here, the varicose ulcers and varicose veins in the legs. And by the same time in the skin, we see the ulcers, scorbutic skin, anasarca, bleeding skins, and by the same time warts and corns, which has a tendency to bleed. That is very interesting where the warts and corns have got a tendency to bleed. Bleeding warts or bleeding corns, by closing your eyes, you can prescribe acetic acid. Then, see the fever, hectic fever, dry, hot skin, drenching night sweats, septic and typhus fever, profuse perspiration. That's very interesting. Like a septic fever, we find many times carbuncles or cellular infections. All such things are very common in acetic acid. Cold skin, flushed off heat, no thirst during fever. This is the characteristic symptom of acetic acid. And the relationship to say the cedar vinegar antidotes carbolic acid. This is one of the specific relation. Follows well after cinchona in hemorrhage, after digitalis in dropsy. See, another case we'll discuss. The case number 3. Because many hardly they use acetic acid in their practice, because many times many other polycrets will take care of acetic acid. And as per my observation and experience, I see where acetic acid may require a reproving to bring out many more manifestations. It's one of the very good constitutional deep-acting remedy, because all the systems are not well established. Later it has been not reproved. There is a scope for any researchers or a upcoming doctors. I give a call that they can take up a task of reproving the acetic acid. This is another case, male aged 50 years, farmer by profession, complaining of non-healing ulcer on left leg for 6 months, recurring ulcers, bleeds on pressure, proportionately less pain, swelling persists, multiple boils around the ulcers, and after that these small ulcers may become a big abscess. Varicose veins on left leg, which is very prominent, as well as sometimes bleeds. Known diabetic for 6 years, not under control, maybe on irregular food, irregular medicines, and improper examination. Naturally, many poor farmers, they do like that. Took many course of antibiotics or reducers, and again it appears, because this is there for quite some time, 5-6 months. You might have tried with some medicines. Patient is chilly, thirsty. Now and then there's a mild fever comes, and local examination parts are swollen, dry, bleeds on pressure, sweat on leg, varicose veins with ulcers, which is opening up often. Sensation is less on affected parts compared with the other leg. Then here the remedy thought of, see, this is the ulcer you could able to see the left leg, and here what we are seeing it, a big ulcer may be infected as well as bleeding, and multiple boils surroundings you could able to see. The other side also it is there. Then what the remedy we thought? Acetic acid, arsenicol, lacasis, merxol, nitric acid, vipera. See, these are the some of the similar remedies where one think of. See, there is no question of other thinking. Naturally, we thought there is a varicosities, there is a bleeding, there is a superadded infection, and less pain, patient is thirsty, diabetes, all these things add to that. Then naturally, we thought of maybe acetic acid or a vipera, but acetic acid actually even crossed the Vipera or the lachesis and other remedies, and acetic acid 200 continuously given for 4-5 days, daily 3 doses, daily dressing done by the calendula external. See, this is what the dressing has been done, and cleaned the wound, and daily 2 times dressing continued with the acetic acid. See, 8 days after treatment, you could able to see the edema has come down, the small boils and ulcers which has been healed completely, where the granulation tissues are and healthy tissues, you could able to see the big wound what it is there, and you could able to see the varicosity is also coming down slowly. Whatever the swollen veins were there, that is started reducing. This is a very interesting, where even otherwise also without ulcer also acetic acid is one of the good remedy for varicose veins. All of you know that. Here it is superadded infection with the diabetes, where we have to check the diabetes, we have to see the local part, as well as we have to see the patient's other condition, where acetic acid has taken care of the patient very well. See, now we'll think about the acetic acid child. It has a specific nature. You could able to differentiate the acetic acid child from the other children. It's very interesting. Many times we don't see, whenever you see the child means, we think about the Sanicola, Silicea, Barretacarp, Cinna, Chamomilla, but acid, especially in the acids, 3 acids have got a very specific children. One is acid phos, another one is nitric acid, other one is acetic acid. In this, child looks older than the age of its origin. A scurvy baby, just I was talking about this scorbutic skin. See, baby is suffering from scurvy, does not allow head to be touched. This is a speciality of this child. Tubercular in infants, marasmus, dropsy due to malnutrition, tuberculosis, and hypoproteinemia. You could able to see since beginning only the patient is having a problem with the nutrition. There is either a deficient or abnormal assimilation or absorption or indigestion. This continues. Thirsty baby, red spot on left cheek during fever. This is another characteristic feature of the acetic acid in the child, especially during fever. Bleeding from nose and other orifices. I said very commonly, almost all this acetic acid has got a tendency to bleed from almost all orifices, but in children, this is very commonly we see this. But with the history, family history, and we could able to diagnose the mathematic background or the cleavage of the past history, family history, then you could able to decide the acetic acid may suit better in the children. That is very helpful. And diphtheria-like throat in child, where frequent attacks of either follicular or membranous tonsillitis is a very specific feature we see in acetic acid. A profuse salivation, sweat is also profuse. Profuse salivation, profuse sweat, profuse urine, and profuse stools means loose stools. This is a very characteristic specific feature of acetic acid child. Wherever you remember, there is an excessive dribbling of the saliva, the patient sweats more, excessive passes of urine compared with that intake of water, where acetic acid you can think and child can be made correct. And another thing, in a juvenile diabetic child, acetic acid has got its own role. See some of the stalwarts, how they have used and how they have identified and seen the acetic acid to say that by Kant, it's a deep acting constitutional remedy, when well studied will be useful, an old remedy for bad effects from chloroform, sensation of heat with pulsation coming and going like orgasms. All substances abused as food become great remedies, such as vinegar, coffee, common salt, etc. He talks that where the vinegar is used in many food substances, but it has become a poison for some of the persons, where acetic acid takes care. Like that, the coffee and common salt we are using, like that vinegar is the acetic acid is one of the important remedy we are using in the system. And still further, for the interest of repertory students or teachers, in the Kant's repertory, a single remedy rubric under skin, you see excrescences, flat, only one remedy, that is acetic acid. Excrescences, flat, skin, acetic acid is the only remedy. It's also a very interesting thing. See, then S.C. Allen says inhalation of vapor of cedar vinegar has been successfully in croup and malignant diphtheria. See, inhalation that has been tried and it was helpful during that time when the diphtheria was very much epidemic. Then E.A. Farrington says, when I have a patient who is subject to hemorrhage, I am in the habit of instructing the nurse in case hemorrhage sets in, means before reaching to the hospital or the nursing home where the doctor got a call and he was responding to that, in case hemorrhage sets in, before I can be called, he advised the staff nurse who is available there to dip a cloth in a vinegar and place it over the pubis. In many cases, this was successful. Means before he reaches the hospital where hemorrhage stopped it. This is very interesting. See, I would like to say where nowadays we don't try all such things. Before I can be called, he says very clearly, to dip a cloth in vinegar and place it over the pubis where hemorrhage can be set in. That was very successful in some of the cases where Farrington has identified. A very interesting information for all of us. A young German, after working 12 months in a vinegar factory, he was obliged to leave from indigestion, dyspnea, and ready fatigue. In the beginning only, I was talking about the physiological action of acetic acid. Here you could able to see how he has been manifested all these things. He was working in a factory of a vinegar for almost a year. Then he has developed the manifestation, typically indigestion, dyspnea, and fatigue. Fatigue or exhaustive weakness is very common in almost all the acids. See, John Henry Clark's observation. And Constantin Herring says it may be given in sausage poisoning and it dissolves cancer cells. That's why I said on some basis only they have said all these things. Maybe we have to have a detailed study on the many cancer cases where what is the role of this acetic acid in a different potencies, in a different level, how best we could able to take help of that. Maybe further study is required. And he further states that a finger dipped in a vinegar rubbed with the lips antidotes fumes of charcoal. See, this is a very interesting, he says, the relationship of the remedy also. Yeah, I hope I am completing with this, where we have studied the acetic acid in brief with some case demonstration. Though it's a small remedy, we could able to understand each and every part of the acetic acid from mind, physiological action, as well as pathological manifestations, pathological prescription, as well as curative remedies, some conditions. Thank you for patient hearing, and thank you for the organizers who has given me an opportunity. Hello, webinar Jam. Through that, we are discussing homeopathy 360. Am I correct, doctor?
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. I think we have queries from people so that we can discuss questions. If somebody has any questions from Dr. Shripad, so they can ask.
Yeah, they can ask. If I could able to answer, I will try.
Are you having any queries? Please ask. I request from the audience to please put your queries in the chat box if you have any regarding glacial acetic acid.
I don't think there may be any question because
You've cleared everything out.
yeah, I think crystal clearly it has been explained. And naturally, some confusions will be there. As per my experience goes, confusion is the first step for clearance of their doubts. And naturally, they could able to come out of that.
Sir,
And-
you can put your mail ID in the chat box if possible, so that people can contact if they have any queries from you. There is a query from Dr. Parvati Shankar. She's asking, you have experience on treating diabetes with the acetic acid?
Diabetics mainly only with acetic acid, it is very tough job. But diabetic complications, what we see, like what I was talking about, diabetic ulcers, non-healing ulcers in the diabetes, and diabetic neuropathy. In all such conditions, actually acetic acid has a very important role to play, not as a plane for the diabetic patients.
Thank you, sir. There are more questions. People are asking, is acetic acid effective in, I think, renal failure? They are asking.
Yeah, renal failure is what I said rightly now. I was talking about the hepatic failure. It was a pre-hepatic condition, cirrhosis of liver, like that only. The renal failure, we usually it's very difficult to say that. But all the manifestations they have got because of the renal origin, there is a edema, there is a ascites. We could able to give a naturally symptomatic relief, not like that where we could able to correct completely the renal failure where the patient has reached the highest creatinine level more than 7 8 and all, and we could able to bring back to the normalcy of the renal functions. That may be a not a I think I don't agree with that. It's a very difficult job also.
Okay, sir. They're asking for hyperacidity as well, if it's
Madam,
usable.
madam, in this my mail ID is there. I think you could able to see.
Yeah, yeah, sir.
Yeah, tell me, you are asking something.
They are asking if it's effective in hyperacidity. Dr. Sanchita has asked.
Yeah. Hyperacidity helps. I said no, there is a burning pain which is relieved by the actually where cold drinks and other things, where constant continuous burning will be there, and even they get the sour belching and eructations and sour vomiting. The soreness is more prominent in that. In the acids, especially the gastric or acidity, hyperacidity complaints, where nitric acid as well as acetic acid has got a very important role, and certainly it has taken care of many patients. Yes, madam.
There are more questions. They are asking, is it which potency would act best for acids?
Acids, no, moderate potency, 200, because it all depends on the patient's condition and other things. It's very difficult to say this medicine will help in this potency only. No. Only depending on the patient's presentation, patient's constitution, depth of the disease, pathological changes. So many criteria we consider before selection of the potency. I think we have to have one more session for selection of potency.
Yeah, yes, sir. They're asking for other remedies. Dr. Priya Gauri has asked for other remedies from acid group for proteinuria, and albuminuria.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, it's a very good question. I said all the acids have got a very specific nature of debility. Debility is because of the vital discharges. This is what the word we use. In that, acid first stands first actually. Before acetic acid, acid phosphoric acid stands first. There is actually more weakness is there. That's why almost all the acids have got that ability. But profuse vital discharges are there more prominently in these 2-3 remedies only. That's why it helps.
Sir, I think we have more questions. They're asking for dropsy condition, how is it helpful? Dr. Archana Yadav has asked.
Yeah. I said no. Dropsy. I have demonstrated on case also. No, I have explained that dropsy in the lower potencies, 30 usually, where I have seen the very good results. Where in frequent doses, it reduces. Actually, it helps to bring down the edema. It is a very good remedy. In all the such dropsies, we think of arsenic, epocinum, epis, acetic acid. All these remedies are first grade remedies. That's why acetic acid has got a very important role. But in the lower potencies, we have to take care because it's isopathic prescription. We cannot go for the higher potencies. We may not get or yield the proper results. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I think we have no more questions from people. So here we come to the end of
Yeah.
the session.
But doctor, I think they have taken my mail ID. They will post me. Yeah.
Sure, sure. Yes, sir. Sure.
Okay.
We are very thankful to you, heartfully, sir, that you have presented so beautifully the glory of glacial acetic acid and explained the session so nicely that it was a great revision, and it was a great thing which we can use it in practice in our coming cases, which we'll be dealing with. I'm really thankful to you for such a wonderful session. And on behalf of whole of our team, Homeopathy 360 and BGN Group, I would like to thank you for giving us your valuable time and guiding the audience. My heartfelt thanks also goes to all the learners who have been with us today. So before I sign off today, I also want to thank Dr. Rajesh, who has been continuously with us at the back end to make sure that the webinars run smooth, and also to my whole team, Homeopathy 360, who works day in and out for bringing out the activities as well as all information related to homeopathy. We'll try to share the recorded version of this webinar soon on YouTube, as well as we'll be providing a replay video in the in your mails who all have registered. I would like to update all the participants that tomorrow also we have a webinar on decrypting postology by Dr. Nagendra Babu sir. So whoever wants to register for the webinar, I would share the link with you people. And also we have a webinar day after tomorrow on infertility and menstrual disorders. So I'll share both the links with you on in the chat box. If you guys want to register, you can register on the on the website. The link is being made available. So I've already shared the link with all. If you want to register for tomorrow's and day after tomorrow's webinar. Thank you so much. I hope everybody cleared their doubts. If you have any doubts, you can mail Dr. Shripad, as well as if you want to mail any queries, you can mail us at webinar@homeopathy360.com. So thank you so much. Thank you, sir, for being with us today and
Thank you.
inspiring
Thank you.
everybody.
Convey my regards to Manish Jain as well as Dr. Rajesh. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you one and all for patient hearing.
Thank you so much. So we come to the session. See you guys tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, dear doctors and students, thank you so much for participating today. And I especially share our gratitude to Dr. Uh, uh, Shripa sir for having such a beautiful knowledge on this particular remedy. So, sir, thank you so much for being with us and sharing your valuable knowledge.
Thank you.
And dear students and doctors, please remain connected for our upcoming events also. Tomorrow, I think we also have one more webinar, so please stay connected. For further information, you can visit on Homeopathy 360 website. You can visit over there and can see our calendar of the upcoming webinars. Thank you for your patience and for sharing your precious time and listening to us this beautiful webinar on the topic acetic acid. So thank you so much all. Thank you our speaker and thank you our presenter for having such wonderful webinar. So with this word, I conclude this webinar with this note that we begin. We are going to meet again on the same platform again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you one and all.